Hi, welcome to another episode of the Prologue. I'm Coach Larry Foss from the Fix Studio, and with me is
I'm Coach Mike Durner from Durner Performance. Today we are going to talk about resistance training.
yes, or yeah. We can probably come up with a whole bunch of names, but yeah, we'll
Yeah,
call it resistance training for now.
yeah, because we're trying to keep this relatively short.
Yeah, in our pre-episode chat, we decided we are going to use the term KISS today. Keep it simple, stupid, because we could probably talk on this for 5 hours at least. We're going to
Yes.
try to keep that down quite a bit. So,
Yep.
first part, should you use TSS for strength training? Mike?
No. No questions.
No,
No.
no, you should not.
Yeah.
TSS is for aerobic conditioning, not strength training.
Yeah. We just can't make that equation wrap
No,
around strength training.
there's no validity to TSS to strength or resistance training, none whatsoever.
Yeah. And I think especially if someone's lifting more than their body weight, like the best place to go is reps in reserve. So do you have 2 to 3 reps left in you? That's a good sign. That's time to
Yeah,
put it down.
yeah, that's. I don't care if it's 4, 6, up to 20 reps, however many reps. I want them to have at least 2 or 3 in reserve. Period. It seems to really cuts down on the injuries.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Like you can
Yeah.
be fatigued and still ride your bike. You probably shouldn't run or just cross country ski if you're fatigued from resistance training. But yeah, if you get too fatigued, you will end up with an injury.
On that note, how many days a week do you put your athletes on for the because there's a couple things. There's the this time of year, the slow part of the year for whatever athlete is. It can be whatever time of the year, but I try to do like 2 or 3 days a week at most,
Mm-hmm.
unless they're a track athlete.
Yeah,
Then it
like
might be 3 to 5,
I
depending
think
on.
for most of my people, it's 2 days a week. I have a couple that are 3, just that, especially at this time of the year, November, December timeframe.
Yeah.
And I even have a couple that are 4 days a week year round, but it's like, oh, these days are lower body, these days are upper body, and they're much shorter,
Yeah.
much more compressed sessions versus like an hour and a half to get all of it together 2 days a week. So,
Right, and some of that's going to depend on because of what we're dealing. Most of our athletes are people that are working for a living and they want to do stuff they like, and there's some people that really like lifting weights and they want to incorporate the weightlifting is an important part just as much as the cycling.
yeah, especially if we're talking about, overall general health, it's really important, not just in the resistant or the reduction of injury or performance, but yeah, the general health, and then time management piece there too. Like, oh yeah, I can't get to the gym for 90 minutes, but I can do, you know, legs at the gym and upper body at home in, a 45 and a 30-minute segment. So, yeah, many
Yeah,
times a
and
week.
I'll tell you, one of the nice things is that for very little money, it's pretty easy to put together a training program that someone can do at home. I do a lot of people have one kettlebell at home, and we can get enough strength in, no problem, because we're not trying to max out deadlifts or max out squats a lot of times for a lot of my athletes.
Yeah. I
It's
feel
all
the same
more
way.
about
Like
health and fitness.
minimum equipment, you can, and that actually like opens up the door of like, Like, oh, we're going to get core, like abdominal, lower back, shoulders, all together in one or two exercises. Um, and yeah, like if I can minimize the exercises too, like I want to do
Yeah.
something, some sort of squat or lunge, some sort of hinge movement for the lower body, those two for the lower body, and then maybe a little lateral movement because on the bike we don't do any of that.
Right.
Um, and anybody who's got kids might end up doing more of that. Um, and then upper body, let's push, let's pull, let's rotate a little bit, and or anti-rotate a little bit, so we're not allowing that rotation. Um, and that's about it. Those are the big ones.
Yeah, yeah, and again, a lot of that stuff. Like I have some athletes that dislike weightlifting so much that they may only do push-ups and sit-ups and squats with a gallon of water, a gallon of milk, or a gallon of laundry detergent. It doesn't matter. But the creative way that I have one athlete in particular that's got a couple kids that they're still kind of running around age. They'll do their push-ups with their kid on their back, and they'll do them during the commercial breaks of the shows that their kids are watching.
Yep, may have been
So
in that realm myself at one point. So
yes, yeah, it
yeah,
turned almost like cat yoga,
yeah, exactly.
except kid yoga.
Yeah.
I typically run anywhere from there's some athletes that may only go do a 4 week block of it
Mm-hmm.
because they just dislike it so much, and I will go up to 16 weeks over the winter, but typically it's between 8 and 12 weeks for most of my athletes.
Yeah, I do it a little bit different. Um, I'll have similar length builds where we're actually focusing on muscular strength or being a little explosive without getting too crazy. Um, or I have a couple of really young, like teenage athletes that are the typical skinny kids that can't put on anything. So we're like, hey, let's do a little hypertrophy for a few weeks because a little bit of muscle mass might actually help you.
Yeah,
But so I'll do those things for a few weeks and then periodize out into a lower number of sets and reps as we get into race season, and just have maintenance days when we get into race
yeah,
season, where like there maybe it's still 2 days a week, maybe it's one day a week, but we're still doing something so that either when we come back to it in the fall, there's less initial soreness, or that's just a protected time for the athlete. Like they know, oh, okay, I'm going to go back to that. And then there's some athletes that just like, yeah, I love to do it. Like you mentioned, they really enjoy it and they want to keep it up all year.
yeah.
And it's great. Like they feel strong. And if they feel strong, whether it's physical or mental, they go to a race and they're like, yeah, I'm feeling good. Then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's a good feeling to have when you show up to the line.
Absolutely, because confidence confidence is a huge component in in any kind of sporting competition, and especially cycling.
Yeah.
I think that being confident that you're in a good place is important. Um, and then I do I want my athletes to do mobility work 2 3 times a week, maybe even 4 times a week, all year long, because you can get a really good strength or a really good core and mobility workout in man. I do one it's not 12 minutes. It's like 11 minutes start to finish for a mobility workout and a core workout. And again, you can slot it in pretty easily. Tend to do it like right before dinner. and
Yeah.
it's really quick.
Awesome.
It's really easy. It's really painless.
Yeah, I will slot in the mobility days along with recovery rides.
Yeah.
Because again, like now we're protecting that time for other days, and they just get used to it. Like, oh, this is part of what I do on an easy day, and then core work might be slotted in on endurance days with no intervals. You know, just something that takes 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, similar, doing it, 2 times a week. So yeah,
Cool. Well, like I said, we could go on for this for hours and hours. That's the pretty stripped down basic information. If anybody has any questions, you can reach out to Mike or I in the comment section, and we can definitely help you out and answer any questions.
yeah.
So this is the prologue. I'm Larry,
Mike, we'll
and
see
we'll
you
see you
next
next
time.
time. Peace.